Your wife, she my favorite on the show. Go find her then. Shit, where Tisha at? Tisha getting pampered. Yesterday's her birthday.
Let me check my goddamn.
Right. Because I know I got a private investigator following her little cheating ass. So I'm gonna find out because she wanna. Tisha ain't the kind of person that be sitting there taking that shit. She wanna just get back. She wanna cheat back. So I gotta watch her.
Something explosive just hit Huntsville, and this time, it didn't come from Melody, Martell, or even the producers. It came straight from Marsau Scott, the man who usually stays calm until he decides to shake the table. And what he said about Kimmie has left the entire Love and Marriage Huntsville fanbase in shock.
Carlos, newly single.
Yes.
Have you tried women?
I've never been with a woman before.
They're all right.
Are you for real?
Have you tried this woman? She's all
like a bad job.
Have you tried this woman?
So wait, so you think the missing piece of my life is maybe I should start dating women just to see how it is?
I think that if you date women and you see how it is, Carlos, I think you might just like it. I think you might get delivered.
If you thought the Scott family drama had reached its limit, think again. Because according to Marsau, the story people think they know about Kimmie isn't the real story at all. And the truth, as he claims, is so tangled, so unexpected, and so personal, it's already changing the way people see her. For weeks, rumors have been floating around social media about tension between the Scotts, whispers about loyalty, trust, and a conflict that nobody could quite figure out. Fans noticed Kimmie pulling back. They noticed Marsau watching her differently. They noticed Maurice looking uncomfortable whenever someone mentioned drama behind the scenes. Something wasn't right, but nobody could put their finger on it. Now, Marsau is making sure everybody knows what really happened.
With the dumb I'm saying if you think it, say it. We don't have to pussyfoot around with it and play with it and, go to person. Say it.
But here's the twist: what he revealed wasn't just shade. It wasn't petty drama. It wasn't a simple confession. It was a bomb that exposed a side of Kimmie that nobody expected, and that revelation is already sending shockwaves through the cast, the producers, and even the network. So what exactly did Marsau expose? And why is he calling out someone he once described as the steady one of the entire group? Let's break this all down, because once you hear the details, you'll understand why this might be the biggest shift Huntsville has seen all season. Before we dive into Marsau's explosive statement, we need to go back not just a few weeks, but far enough to understand why this moment matters.
Somehow, me going to talk to him about something is going to be a wake-up call. Here's what I realized, all right? When the stories don't line up, you don't got all the information. You're giving this guy that doesn't want to be emotional, this guy that doesn't want to be affected by losing his family. And the truth is, all I see is a guy who's in love and lost the love of his life and his family. So please, if you want a level of respect to exchange both ways, do me this favor, all right? You can say I'd rather not say, hey, that's none of your business, but a bald-faced lie to me, all right?
What's the lie?
Because underneath all the shouting, the shade, and the confession, there's a long history. A history filled with complicated relationships, mixed loyalties, emotional pressure, and battles that never really healed. Kimmie has always been someone viewers respected. She wasn't the loudest, she wasn't the messiest, and she rarely jumped into chaos unless she felt pushed into it. When everyone else was arguing, she tried to keep things steady. When lines were drawn, she tried not to choose sides. And when the cast was falling apart, she somehow found a way to hold the pieces together even when her own life was falling apart behind closed doors.
Depression, and people are talking about, oh my God, it's a bad problem running rampant. And here's the reason why it's running rampant, right? It's because we don't know what it really is.
But here's the part many people forget: being the calm one isn't always peaceful. Sometimes it means carrying other people's burdens. Sometimes it means staying quiet to protect someone else. And sometimes it means hiding your own frustration because you feel outnumbered, misunderstood, or forced to play along. Over the years, tensions began to build beneath the surface. Maurice leaned on her emotionally more than he admitted. Marsau expected her to break up arguments between him and Melody. Producers relied on her to explain storylines when things got messy. And cast members, especially those who didn't want to be blamed, often pushed responsibility onto her. It wasn't fair. It wasn't balanced. And it wasn't sustainable. As the seasons went on, fans noticed something different. Kimmie started speaking less. She started holding her feelings back. She started giving short answers instead of long explanations. And most importantly, she started keeping her distance from certain people on the cast, especially when the drama got too personal. But here's where things get complicated. While some viewers believed she was protecting her peace, others felt she was hiding something bigger. Some felt she was tired of being in the middle. Others wondered if she had chosen a side, or worse, multiple sides. That's when the rumors started. Rumors about conversations off camera. Rumors about things she allegedly told producers. Rumors about information she passed to cast members at the wrong time or the right time, depending on who was talking. And of course, rumors about a huge disagreement between her and Marsau that nobody wanted to discuss publicly. At first, Marsau didn't say a word. If there's one thing he's good at, it's keeping his mouth shut until he's ready to speak. But recently, after months of holding everything in, he finally snapped. And what came out wasn't subtle. It wasn't a hint. It wasn't a playful jab. He exposed everything. According to his statement, which he delivered with that calm tone he uses when he's dropping bombs, Kimmie hasn't been nearly as neutral as she wants people to believe. He said she's been involved in behind-the-scenes situations that affected friendships, created tension on set, and even influenced how the story was told this season. The moment he said it, fans were stunned. Because for years, Kimmie was the one people trusted to stay out of the mess. Now Marsau was saying she was in the middle of it the entire time. But he didn't stop there. He claimed she withheld information from Maurice during a moment when honesty would have changed everything. He alleged she shared sensitive conversations with the wrong person at the worst possible time. And he even suggested she helped shape a storyline that made one cast member look guilty while protecting another, all while pretending she had nothing to do with it. According to him, she wasn't just reacting to drama. She was controlling it. Now, whether that's true or not, that's where things get messy. Because with every accusation, fans split right down the middle. Half of them believed Marsau was trying to shift attention away from his own behavior. The other half believed he was finally telling the truth about a pattern he had stayed quiet about for years. But the moment he dropped that final bomb, the one he said was the real reason everything feels tense right now, that was when the entire fanbase exploded. He claimed Kimmie had been meeting with producers behind the family's back. Not to sabotage anyone, but to control what parts of the story made it to air. He said she wanted to protect herself and protect Maurice, especially during moments when the marriage felt fragile and vulnerable. According to him, she made decisions that affected the whole cast, and those decisions created a ripple effect that people only discovered months later. If true, it would mean Kimmie has been holding more power than she let on. If false, it would mean Marsau was intentionally painting her as the mastermind behind the scenes. So what really happened? That depends on who you ask. As soon as Marsau's comments went public, cast members reacted immediately. Melody was one of the first to call him out, and she did not hold back. She said Marsau had a habit of twisting things when the pressure got too real. She said Kimmie didn't deserve to be dragged into a narrative just because Marsau felt overwhelmed. And then she added something that sent fans into a frenzy. She hinted that Marsau might be exposing Kimmie now because he is worried about something being revealed about himself. On the other side, Martell agreed with Marsau. He said he had noticed things over the years that made him question how much Kimmie really knew and how much she chose to share. He even added that he felt she protected certain people more than others, especially when the truth would have changed the direction of the season. Then came the rest of the cast. Some defended Kimmie, saying she has always been honest and doesn't play games behind the scenes. Others cautiously stood with Marsau, saying they had two questions they never asked because they didn't want to start a war. But the wildest reaction came from someone nobody expected, a former production assistant who anonymously leaked a statement saying there were moments when Kimmie did in fact ask for conversations to be edited or removed. They didn't provide details, but the fact that anyone from behind the scenes spoke up added even more fuel to the fire. And just like that, everything spiraled. Fans started digging up old clips, analyzing expressions, reading into the way cast members talked around certain situations. People began noticing how often Kimmie avoided giving full answers. They noticed how uncomfortable Maurice looked during specific moments. They noticed Marsau watching her quietly whenever things got tense. But here's the twist nobody expected. While all of this was happening publicly, something even more emotional was happening privately. Because behind the cameras, behind the drama, behind the storylines, Kimmie has been fighting battles people knew about and more battles they had no idea existed. She has been dealing with fatigue from her health journey, trying to balance family responsibilities, trying to protect her marriage, trying to keep peace within a group that has been falling apart for years. And according to a source close to her, Marsau's comments felt like a betrayal, not just a messy moment. This wasn't just a cast member calling her out. This was a family member. Someone she trusted. Someone she supported. Someone she defended in moments when it would have been easier to stay silent. She didn't expect this from him. She didn't expect it to go this far. She didn't expect her name to be used in a storyline designed to stir public reaction. And when the rumors hit their peak, she did what she always does: she stayed quiet. But this time, her silence wasn't strength. It was heartbreak. Sources say she feels overwhelmed, pushed into a corner, and misunderstood. They say she's trying to decide whether to respond publicly or let everything play out. They say she doesn't want to fight, but she also doesn't want people believing she manipulated the show when she spent most of her time trying to stay out of the drama. Meanwhile, OWN Network has stepped in too. They released a vague statement acknowledging the tension but said they're letting cast members tell their story in their own words. Fans believe the network is being careful, extremely careful, because the situation touches on production decisions, cast relationships, and behind-the-scenes interactions that could affect how the show is run going forward. And while the network stays neutral, Marsau isn't backing down. In a recent interview, he doubled down on everything he said. He insisted his comments weren't meant to attack Kimmie, he simply wanted the truth out. He said he felt people blamed him for situations he didn't create, and he wanted everyone to know that certain storylines weren't shaped by him at all. But then he added something that nobody expected. He said the only reason he revealed everything was because he believed Kimmie was preparing to expose something about him and Maurice, something major, something personal, something he wasn't willing to let spiral without context. And that changed everything. Because suddenly, this wasn't just about Kimmie. This was about the entire Scott family. What secret was she allegedly ready to share? Was it about business? Was it about marriage? Was it about something that happened off camera? Nobody knows, not yet. But fans are already guessing, and the theories are overwhelming social media. Some think she discovered something that would damage Marsau's marriage. Others think she uncovered financial issues. Others believe she has messages or recordings that prove certain cast members were lying throughout the season. Whatever it is, it's big. Big enough for Marsau to go public before she did. Big enough for him to risk the fallout. Big enough for him to expose her in a way that shocked the entire city of Huntsville. But here's the emotional truth underneath all the noise. No matter how dramatic things look on camera, this situation is tearing apart relationships that once felt solid. It's affecting family dinners, holiday gatherings, private conversations, and emotional trust that took years to build. It's making people question who they can talk to, who they can rely on, and who truly has their back when the cameras stop rolling. And at the center of all of this is Kimmie, a woman who has already been through enough battles, now facing a new one she didn't see coming. People who know her say she feels like she's being cornered by someone who should have protected her. They say she feels like her character is being rewritten by someone who knows how much she hates mess. They say she's trying not to let the stress affect her health, but the emotional weight is real. So where does this leave the future of the show? Some fans believe things will eventually calm down. Others think this scandal will change the cast forever. There are whispers that producers are considering restructuring storylines. There are rumors about new cast members being added. There's even talk that the Scotts may not film together until things are resolved privately. But one thing is clear. This situation isn't over. Not even close. Because Kimmie has not spoken yet. And when she does, when she finally decides to share her side, her truth, her experience, it's going to flip the entire narrative upside down. It will reveal things nobody saw coming. It will expose layers underneath the surface of the show. It will shift the direction of the season in ways that might change love and marriage, Huntsville forever. And maybe that's why Marsau felt the need to speak first. Maybe he knew her version of the story would be powerful. Maybe he knew her truth would challenge everything. Or maybe he simply didn't want to be caught off guard. No matter what happens next, one thing is certain. This is the most explosive moment the Scotts have ever faced. And the fallout will shape friendships, marriages, alliances, and reputations.